computer. All right. Hi, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Lunch and Learn. And today you are really in a good treat today because we have a very knowledgeable title officer from lawyer's title. Nancy, which is my friend as well. I have known her for what, 40 years, 40 some years, you know, and she's undoubtedly the most knowledgeable title officer in this area, if not in Los Angeles. Okay, so she's going to teach you and tell you a lot of good information, and take some notes because it's going to be useful one of these days. Okay, so well, Nancy, doesn't really need much of my introduction. She's well known and loved by everybody. So Nancy, let's welcome Nancy.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you very much. And then it's so nice to see Mindy. So everybody now will help her. Besides Peter, everybody will help her make sure that she becomes successful. I think this business, I've been in this 41 years. I think consistency and knowing what your job is every day. And my ex-boss that retired told me one thing about almost 35 years ago. He said something to me that always stuck in my head, and that was a very good advice he said to me. So Nancy, you have to really service your clients, and your client means the realtors, most of them, and then you have the escrows, you have lender, but the realtors are the one that you really have to take care of them. I said, okay. He said, you know why? I said, no, because I was new. I said, I'm in the service industry. Of course I'm in. He said, no, this is very important. Your realtor wake up every morning. Every one of them wakes up every morning unemployed. If you don't have an escrow, you don't have a job. You're not going to get paid. So he says, they need your help. They need your help in knowledge. They need your help in encouragement. They need your help to have empathy, to make sure that they can keep pushing. And so I give myself that commitment a long time ago into my boss. I said, I get it. You don't have a paycheck. Okay? And Peter doesn't have a paycheck. You don't make money, he doesn't make money. So we're in the situation together. And I don't like to see when office people, the realtors, compete against each other and here, we don't have that. And I know all the agents, all the agents here, they work together well. So I want to give you something that every morning you need to know, what am I going to do today? Who am I going to contact? What can I learn to improve my business and to increase my business? So if you want to know these things, activities, we can do one-on-one, like Peter said. How do you increase your business? What kind of game plan you have? Without the plan, it's worse. We all know what we need to do. You know that I have a call sheet that Monday to Friday, which offices I have to go to. After 41 years, I still have it. And every October, we have to do our business plan. I have to turn into my manager, who's a lot younger than me, because I've been doing this for 41 years. But I understand why, because if you go day to day without a goal, without a plan, without knowing your next step, you're not going to make money. I'm going to put it very blunt, and maybe you don't like what I'm saying, but it's the truth. I'm very honest with you and honest with myself. I fail sometimes. I didn't follow the plan, but you have to know it's okay because things happen, but you have to bring yourself back. So if I didn't visit all the offices the whole week, I missed an office, I make sure I go back and go to those ones first. So if you're going to make 10 phone calls, 20 phone calls, 30 phone calls, and if you didn't do that, the next day you're going to make more. Let's say you're supposed to make 20 and you only make 10. So tomorrow you're going to make 20 or 30. Does that make sense? Okay. It's like exercising. You can't exercise one day and expect results. I told Carmen today I need to lose weight, and I'm like, I need to exercise. I have not been consistent, and I have to tell myself that. So we don't like telling people what to do. My kid says, Mom, I know what I'm doing. Don't tell me what to do. But I'm saying out of a good point, a good place in my heart. and I want you to be successful. So if you want to sit down with me on a one-on-one, I'll be happy to do it. I've done one with Karina and Catherine Torres on the weekend, and twice already. They show me what they want to do with technology and video and stuff, and I make them do a video in front of me, just using their phone. And it's not that hard. After they did, oh, that's it's not that hard. I said, yeah, if you don't like it, delete it, do it again. So it was a very good introduction for them. All right. All right. Let's get back to what I do besides lecturing you. Title insurance is a very unique business. There's only three countries that have it. United States, and guess the other two, Canada and Mexico. Why? Because they're next to the United States. So they kind of follow our system. And these people buy and sell with these three countries. They buy and sell in each other's countries. So, but title insurance, another thing is that, and I told Peter, it's very important because when somebody buys a house, Carmen was talking about that. How much is a house now, average in our Hamburg?
827.
See, Peter has all the answer, 827. That's a lot of money. So your client gets title insurance to protect the biggest investment of their entire life. I've never invested anything bigger than what I paid for my house, right? So, and a lot of people have to pull family money together and borrow money. So it is a very important thing for title insurance to make sure that to protect their investment, okay? So, a couple of things that one of my agents asked me yesterday, I'm gonna call her this afternoon. My client asked me, how do we base the title insurance fee? How do you calculate that? In California, we're very regulated by the Department of Insurance. All the title company has to post their rate with the Department of Insurance. And how they do it, they look at our claims, they look at our underwriter, they will give you a range. So we're not higher than maybe $10, $20 than other people, or we're not lower than. So we have a very, we'll say, an even playing field. The Department of Insurance don't want us to compete like with price. Why? Because if we go under, everybody else has to pay for it. The taxpayer has to bill the insurance company. That means the Department of Insurance has to take the money to bail the insurance company out. Remember all the banks who got bailed out? Yes. Whose money is that? All of our money. So they don't want us to fail. And one of the reasons is that if we have money to pay all the claims, we're not perfect. Okay, I've made mistakes myself. So we have enough money. So we make enough money, we set aside enough money to pay it. So they want us to make money. So we have to compete on the same even plane. Okay. And number two, title insurance doesn't make a lot of money. Why? When did you renew your car insurance?
Every year.
Every year. Or you pay once a year, or you pay quarterly, whatever, but you have to renew. And property insurance, life insurance, you pay until you pay it up, fire insurance, your whatever insurance, title insurance one time only. I wish we had renewal. Because I would have been retired by now, right? For 40 years doing the business, if I had renewal, can you imagine that? Right, so.
But your payout is very little.
Yeah, exactly. That's why we don't have renewal. And so why don't we do every 2 years renewal? I would be happy. That we don't. So we don't have renewal, and there's a one-time charge. So when the customer tells me, you guys are so expensive, or your customer asks you that, and you know you can't really get a discount, you're gonna go tell them, same thing I just asked you. How often do you pay your car insurance? How often do you pay your life insurance, or your dental insurance, medical insurance? And then in comparison, how much is your car cost? $50,000 maybe, right? But your car insurance is $1,500 a year. Your house is $89,000, right? $820,000. You only pay one time, less than about $2,000. Comparison, really cheap. And we're insuring a lot of property, a lot of money versus your car. And your car depreciates. And guess what? And most people don't know, your title insurance policy has an appreciation cost according to the federal living standards. So if we pay out 800 something, maybe 10 years later, it's not 800. Okay, so it does have an increase of value, but no premium. Okay, so now you can go and extricate your client, because my agent's brand new, she didn't know how to tell them what is title, what is that. And what do we do? Because Mandy is here, I'm gonna expand a little more. Carmen sells a house to Rosa. Carmen's been there 20 years. We are looking at every document that has been recorded on Carmen's property and make sure there's no, we know how much loan she has on it, if she owes property tax, any personal loss. So sorry, I'm gonna make an example and all that. And then we do a report, and before Rosa buys it, escrow has a report, and then we'll make sure that every item is cleared up through escrow with us. So when Rosa takes the property, she will not have her problems on that property. Okay, so today that's gonna bring me back to the topic. What are some of the problems that the title company look at that can cause a delay in your closing? And these are the actual problems that I get right now, and I'm going to tell you some of it, okay? Number one, and this is for you for reference, you don't have to look at the thing, because I just talk. I don't need anything. The other day I met somebody new as attorney, and somebody said, I said, the one thing, in the first meeting, I like to talk. So, a couple of things that I've run across that delays the close of escrow, and I have two of them right now. Carmen sells a house to Rosa. Rosa is going to take under Rosa's name as an individual, a life person. There are a lot of property that are not life person. Trust is one of them. LLC, corporation, all that stuff. Partnership, okay, that's not a life person. That means they're buying a property under LLC, okay? And what I've seen is that the listing agent doesn't even know, and when it comes to almost closing time, then they get all bent out of shape. Okay, give you an example. A lot of the people, especially right now with foreign buyers that set up an LLC, they don't even live here. One thing, they don't have their corporate documents in. Because now they're in Shanghai, now they're in the Philippines. I have one that went back to India. His father's wealthy, he doesn't care anymore. House has been sitting here for 5 years and it was under an LLC. He doesn't know where the paperwork is. The second thing that you said, it's not in good standing, because we checked ABC LLC, California Limited Liability Company, and the Department of Corporation said they haven't paid their taxes for 5 years. So guess what? That company is dormant, and the terminology title company uses is it is not in good standing. That means we know there's a company, but they are delayed. They have taxes they haven't cleared. So this company literally is being dormant. They can't do anything with that company. That guess what? The person that owns the LLC, let's say is that you can't sign. The company is no longer in existence. It's a life. It's not a life. So if you're closing, this one is closing in a week. And I'm trying to get the CPA to refile the taxes for 5 years. And guess what? It's April. Everybody's so busy. So the CPA just said, it's going to take me a while because I'm still doing all kinds of stuff. So hopefully they'll get it done next week and then we can close. That's a last minute thing. So you know me, I always lecture my listing agent. When they go, Nancy, what am I going to do? The buyer was supposed to have to move the kids in and all this stuff and that. When I sent you the property profile, I told you it's under LLC. Your job is to find out from the seller their bylaws, their articles of incorporation, all that stuff. And didn't you ask them? So my lesson to you today is when you see a property profile, it's under LLC. When you go take the listing, number one thing is, do you have your corporate documents? Second thing is, have you paid taxes every year? It's in good standing. Because it takes a couple of weeks to put it in escrow and sell it. It takes a month to close it. But I want you to ask those questions ahead of time. Because right now, this buyer is very, he's living in a hotel. He wants to close this month and move in because he's paying $200 a day for hotel. And there's 2 kids with them, so there's 4 people in one room. He's not a very happy man. Because he said, I'm not even getting a loan, I'm paying all cash, what is the big delay? So the buyer's agent or listing agent are not happy, so I have to go in and calm them down. Number 1 lesson, if you see something that's entity, you have to ask them.
Yes.
Yes.
Another question is, if you're talking about complex analysis. Now, there's a recent law that requires the registration of the beneficial ownership, not beneficial interest report. Do you require that report in your title?
We don't require, but escrow is required to do that.
Okay, so the escrow will do that.
But we require that company is in good standing.
Yeah.
All the articles are there and we know who can sign. What if the LLC has more than 3 people and Kathy cannot sign for the other 2, right? So we need all that document. So 2 things you ask, all the corporate papers, the bylaws, the articles of the corporation, and then the escrow will do a certification that the owner of the LLC signs that there's no change. And then we'll also need that they are in good standing. Commercial property with a lot of those. And one of the reasons I asked them, did you ask your seller, you know what the seller told me? They're gonna only find me 10%. Since the company is not making money, I don't need to file taxes. I'm just gonna pay the penalty. Okay, that's their logic. So I'm telling you, they have all kinds of reasons why they don't do it. And they're not wrong, but when you take the listing, make sure you do that right away. So this way, I think this weekend, the buyer's gonna call me again, when can I move? You know, I feel bad for the agent because the buyer is questioning the agent said, do you mind talking to my buyer? Because I don't think he wants to listen to me anymore. I will do that with your permission. I don't call buyers and sellers and say, unless you want me to. And the first time I talk to them, you better be on the phone with them. Because I don't want them to tell you something I didn't say. And it's happened to me before. Okay, Kathy, you know how the communication is? It's not because they're lying. They don't understand what I say. And I don't know them well. So they assume they heard this. They misinterpreted what I said. Okay, so these are important things. Okay, the entity also trust. Okay, there's a lot of trust sale now, family trust. The couple puts a property into a trust, all they're saying, so when they pass away, they don't need to go through probate. Okay, and that's one thing that's very important. Before I go into the problem, let me tell you one situation that really happened. One of my listing agents has something that's going through the probate. And she's gonna be the listing agent. She said, once the probate court ends, she's gonna give it to me. I'll do the prelim with selling, but I need the final probate documents, right? She called me last week. She was really upset. She said, what happened? I thought the probate is gonna be done at the end of April. I'm so upset. I said, what happened? Now there's a letter from the attorney to the probate court said this, all of a sudden, this father has another son from whatever where. So these 2 brothers doesn't know his father had another son outside of the marriage. So it is like, that's why do the trust. If it's in a trust, he has no right. But if it's probate, so she said, what am I gonna do? The brother's upset. They don't even know the brother. He's never met him. I said, well, that doesn't mean he has no right. Now it's up to the court. The court will want him to have their birth certificate, whatever he can provide. And if he can provide that, then he's gonna be able to share. All the 2 brothers are not happy, right? So they take it out on the agent. So the agent's calling me on lawyer. I said, okay, that's why you are trust. And Rosa, you've seen it in the Mexican family, the Chinese family. Yeah. All of a sudden, you don't have a trust. Everybody fights, even the uncles start coming.
Everybody wants some money.
Yeah, everybody wants some money, okay? Okay, Chinese 人不为己，天诛地灭，对。And then we're brought up in a society that's very self-serving, right? You teach the kids, you're your own person. You make your own decision. You should take care of yourself. You survive on your own. All that stuff is giving these people this mentality. I'm going to fight for myself. So trust is very important. That case is a perfect example. Last week, a probate attorney was the speaker at the Western People Association. And I told him, I said, you're right, tell them my story. I'm still waiting for the probate to end. Because now they have this, I said, get it? done fast. If he's the brother, give him something. You don't want another person to come out. Because the father did it once, how do you know he can do it twice? What if somebody else comes out? Right, so I told the agent, tell these two brothers to get it done fast. You never know, what if this guy has another sister? We don't know that, so on the trust, if it's a trust, then we don't have this problem. So the trust is important, and why am I talking about the trust now? When I give you the property profile, so maybe when you go on the listing or something, get a property profile so you know what's on there. And if you don't understand how to read it, I'll sit down with you. Okay, I don't mind at all, because I want to teach you so you don't make mistakes. Why? I always tell people to ask me the question ahead of time. They don't ask me, something happens and a problem happened, I might not be able to help them after it happens. Let's take care of it. Prevent it from happening. And that's my key. So you have to work ahead of time. Okay, with the trust. You know how many times that I get that? The wife is 90 years old, father died, her husband passed away, she can't find a trust. Okay, and, or they both passed away. The kids wants to sell. They can't find the trust, or they're too lazy to find. Okay, so I want you to ask them, when you take the listing, where is the trust? At least give them time to look for it, because it's early, instead of almost closing time, I can't find your trust, and then I get phone calls, you get phone call, and the lender's gonna, the interest rate is expiring, the buyer's agent's upset at everybody, not a good thing. I have one situation that's really funny, and I got lucky. The daughter and the husband flew in from Arizona. Mom and dad passed away, mom just passed away, so they know it's in a trust. Agent calls and says, Nancy, the daughter, only one daughter, she doesn't know where the trust is. And she's been at the house, looked through everything. And they're good people. They did look at the garage, every box is even under her, clothing, whatever, mattress, nothing. Maybe she gave it to a friend or something, and the friend already passed away. She was 98 years old. So I look at the grantee, the attorney typed it. I look up the attorney. He's already retired. But he was so nice, and there's a lot of attorneys like that. And he said, I retired 15 years ago. Yeah. I still have a storage with some of the documents, the trust. And I said, you have a signed copy? He says, most attorneys do not keep signed copies of the trust. They do. I do. Let me see, give me 3 days. Let me see if I can find it. And he found it. And called me back, and we met at the Santa Rita building, the north of Huntington Drive. He borrowed one of his attorney friend's office to meet us at the conference room. And he didn't charge. Okay, and you go and talk to any trust attorney, they don't keep a signed copy. If it's not signed, I don't not use it. That means they didn't acknowledge it. How can I get something that's not signed? I give you a check, there's no signature, can you deposit it? Right? So people say, well, they did it, the attorney's name on it, why can't you? I said, I give you a check, it's my account, but I didn't sign it, can you cash it? Oh, okay. That's the example you tell your client. I'm giving you these questions so you know how to answer and overcome the objections of your sellers. Okay? So I got lucky that time. I got really lucky. Okay, he said, so he gave us a copy of the trust with the signature, so we got lucky. And your question is?
What happened? We can buy those trucks. We need a lawyer.
Okay, this is very,
But the first question is, we say that when the grantee, when we have a trust, they change our name, right, and the trust name, today, the title company attach the lawyer's name or something?
you issue a good attorney usually on top. When recorded, please mail to, they all tell you which attorney did it. But now the attorneys, I'm sorry, Peter, I like attorneys, I don't like attorneys, it depends on who they are. They just put your name on it, so you don't.
Yeah, that's why I don't see that.
That's what I'm saying. That attorney was very good. What he did is, he put his name on the grantee.
Right.
He is the person that prepared it. Original got sent back to him. He gave it back to the fund.
So the second question is, what happened if we can find the trust?
You know what?
The title already under living trust,
Yeah.
however,
The
they
title
can sold as the living trust, but by the company, the.
Okay, we don't know what the trust said. Do you know, I have a copy of the trust that I look at, they say that, no, this is what they say. This property can never be sold. It can only be rent out by the heirs. Okay, so there's so many financial and people ask me, Nancy, why can't they just record the trust? No, if my trust gets recorded, what if I have a Picasso painting in my living room? You don't think somebody's gonna come and rob me if it's public record? Or I have a 6-carat diamond ring?
So we will be the deeds will be recorded.
The
but
deed
not the
recorded,
trust.
not the trust, because the trust has so many financial things in there. So it doesn't,
It's confidential.
it's confidential. And because it has too many private information.
Bank account, everything.
Bank account, life insurance, and my trust, I have a whole bunch of things.
Don't worry, I have a few of them.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, people are gonna say, I'm gonna go and rob Nancy, she has guns,
Yes.
right? And so that's what I'm saying, it's very difficult. You know what, in your case, if they can't find it, they have to go to court. Get the court to certify that they are the heir, they're the successor, they can sell the property. So what I tell you, this is very important, Christine. I can't make decisions, we can't find the trust.
You mentioned that it has to go to court. Do you mean has to go to probate? That's two different.
Yeah. Might not have to go to probate, it might have, the court has to say, their
What kind of
intent,
court?
family court. Intend to have this property in it. So because the grantee is already there, so they
Yeah.
have to prove who's the heir, who's and there's nobody. So it could be a short probate, depending how difficult, how many things are in there.
What's the short of probate?
Short probate means nobody is fighting. That probate, somebody else is claiming. That's not a short probate.
How long it will be the
It
period?
depends. A year ago, I called one of my probate attorneys, I said, how long does it take for probate? She answered, it depends on what area. There's a lot of old people dying without the trust. For me to get a hearing is 3 months. So it's up to the court, how soon they can give them the time to go to court.
At least not the 3 years.
Yeah, it's not 3 years, it's not that long. I just finished 2 or 3 probates, and it probably took about 5 months. Okay, and then they put it on the market, they sold it. Okay, so I closed like 3 or 4 this year on probate. There's a lot of probates out there.
Yeah, that should be, I expect sometimes when my friends get over a year.
Yeah, depends on who's
Recently,
fighting.
They have to find one of the brothers.
Yeah.
They don't know where the father is.
Yeah, and it is sad. Without everybody bickering, everybody's happy, no court confirmation, then it takes a few months only, not that
So
long.
usually, how much is the probate cost?
I don't really know, but I think this is very,
Approximately.
I don't know approximately. I think it's like how many percentage of your estate. And the probate court, the justice system is very fair. The probate attorney cannot charge more than what the law requires him to. They cannot overcharge.
It's not cheap, okay?
Yeah, it's not cheap, but I asked a lot, I have a couple, Michael Lowe's kids, Kevin and something, I know them, I did business with Michael. They're really good to me, they call me for all kinds of things, and I asked, they were bankruptcy attorneys, they're really good. I said, Michael, not Michael, I said, Kevin, how come you don't go into probate? I really need some Chinese probate attorneys in this area. They don't make enough money. And it's slow. So a lot of attorneys doesn't want to do probate. It's long, but bankruptcy is fast, right? So it's not because they're bad people, it's that they've got obligations, this is not their passion. There aren't that many attorneys, young ones, going into probate. Because I have 2 probate attorneys, they're really old, they're older than me. I'm like, I hope they don't die. Augustino in Alhambra, he doesn't even like email. He said, just call me and tell me, then you send me an email, I'll just say yes or no, he doesn't want that.
That's why in Pasadena, how costly you can use it, it's really good.
Okay, and I have another one, Hartness, somebody, he's in Santa Monica, but he's very good. So I have a few good ones, but they're all old. Okay.
I have a certain one, the thing loan, L-U.
Then Lu?
T-I-N-E.
Lady,
Ding Liu, okay, good.
Yeah, she's very young, she's about Maybe 45.
Okay, good. Those are the ones we need right now, because there aren't that many that wants to go into probate. Okay, so without the trust, title company or court order, I can't do anything, because I can't interpret what that person really wants. I don't know the people they're dead. Okay, if they're alive, it's easy, they can do an amendment. Okay, my trust, I can do an amendment, it's very simple, but if they're both dead, there's no trust, I'm in trouble. Okay, so listing agent, if you see something in the trust, same question. Are you the successor? Do you have a copy of the trust? And we need, I don't need the whole thing, okay? I tell people, some of them, there's a lot of private, I said, I don't need all the other stuff, life insurance. I need the cover page with the name of the trust, with the date on it. I need the content page. Then I need the page where this property was listed, it's in the trust. Also the signature page for the settler, the trustors. Okay? Then ESCO sends a trust certification to the people that are selling that there's no change. Then I'm good. I don't need the whole thing. And I've gone to places, the agent said, I don't have a place to make copies. I said, well, I'll come over and use the iPad, take some pictures, and it sounds clear. The certification that they have to sign, then you can put. I don't need the whole thing. I don't. No, okay. Also, another thing with the trust, this happens a lot now because people are all over the place. They're in China, they're in Europe. Well, I have one went to Germany. My niece permanently now lives in London. She doesn't want to come back to the US. Bonnie says, I love the British, so she's not going to come back. So what happens? If the mom has a trust and she passed away or she's traveling, can somebody use power of attorney? Yes and no. I have to look at the trust, see if there's saying that they allow power of attorney to be used in the transaction, not the durable medical power of attorney in the back of the trust. That doesn't count. I'm talking about financial real estate power of attorney. It has to be specified in the trust. They can allow somebody to use a power of attorney. So if I am a success of the trust, I'm the trustee, I'm in England, I don't want to come over and sign all of it. I can give power of attorney to Virginia, to people, whatever. But the trust has to say that they can use power of attorney to transfer property.
Is it common or no?
It's not common because attorneys, they don't want power of attorneys because it can be a gray area, right?
How many times can we use the power of attorney? If you use it once and then later on you're gonna do that again, can you do that again? Or-
You need different property?
Yeah, different
Okay,
program.
cannot. Unless, okay, Peter knows, we've been in business a long time. Title company used to love general power of attorney. Because general, you can use for everything. But then the lenders, they don't want general, they want to specify the address. So this is what I tell you, if you know that there's going to be more than one property in there, you list all of them in the power of attorney. Otherwise, it's only be used for that
Oh,
one
you
property.
can list all of them?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Okay, and so you use the one time it gets recorded, perfect. You can pull the recorded copy, you can sell the other copies. Okay, but you have to list it. Okay, so power of attorney is another class, but it's a very good question.
There's only 1 year, 1 year, right?
2 years.
Or
makes
2
it
years
up.
now?
2 years. I can go 2 years, but after 2 years, don't talk to me.
Yeah.
Because you know what, people say, my boss would say, hey, international now, everybody can travel and it's so fast. I did try to push it through during COVID.
Okay.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
but
Different.
I need proof. I need the person that gives the power of attorney and the person that has power of attorney to write me a letter. And it doesn't have to be notarized here, but they can be notarized anybody, anywhere else, saying that that's power of attorney is good. Because I want something in the file in case I get sued.
But they don't put it as far as if they in the power.
No, but, okay, let me tell you why they don't put it in there. Because when the law of power of attorney came in, every law has to have some kind of basis. The basis is that it's for somebody that's temporarily absent, not forever absent. But the doable power of attorney and the medical power of attorney, that's two different things, okay? So power of attorney is only good for a short period of time. Title company will look at it as 2 years, but I have people that put in the date. This power attorney is good till December 31st, 2029, 5 p.m. Pacific time, da, 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 da. It has to be in there, and I need the original. Like, if I look at somebody type it in, or if the sequence comes out, I'm gonna reject it, because that's wrong. Okay, also, another thing about power attorney, I have people that call me, Nancy, I gave my son a power attorney, and I'm not in the country, he's gonna go through use my account and all this stuff, because something happened. I say you can do a revocation of the power attorney and report, we can revoke that power attorney. Okay, so 2 things, when you see an entity or trust on title, you have to ask the question ahead of time. Okay, even before you go and take the appointment, say, I'm gonna type up the contract. I always tell the agent, type up the contract before you go. Don't do it when they say, I'm gonna sign you a listing. Now, that's too late. Type it up and leave the price, leave some of the terms blank and the commission blank. When you go over there, it's already typed, so don't waste your time. And then you do your presentation. And afterward, they like you to say, here we go, please sign. Does that make sense? Always have the contract ahead of time. This is very important. They're gonna say, oh, let me think about it. So we agree on these things. You didn't like my presentation. Anything you want to change? What do you think I should improve on? If I can do all that, we just sign this contract. Don't let them think too much. Okay? So these 2 are the ones that's causing me a lot of trouble. Last minute, I get phone calls from everybody. I get phone calls from Esco, I get phone calls from lender, I get phone calls from listing agent, buyer's agent, and I'm like, oh. Okay, so, and another thing that I always tell people, I have agents that change vesting, change how they take title halfway through escrow. Talk to your lender first. I have a couple that say, oh, I want to add my son. Well, of course, 18 years old, you can add the son. But the lender says, I want to qualify him. Every lender is different. If you're borrowing a loan, you better verify with your loan officer before you put anybody on title. Escrow doesn't care as long as, but another thing, we have good agents. We have social agent. We have agent that doesn't know better, which is still good, but we have devious bad agents, right? If you change vesting, they already said that he's got himself, he can double in and he's got a better offer. He can say, no, I'm not changing vesting, I can cancel it. Because that person was not on the contract, the seller signed to agree acceptance. They can use that and say, no. And then you want them to do an amendment, the seller saying, I'm not gonna do it. I've had people lose a transaction because they want to do these things. So don't do these things until you talk to everybody. Okay, Chinese. One guy called me from Shanghai through WeChat. I'm gonna buy this $5 million ranch. I'm older. And I said, how old are you? 65. I said, you're not that old. He said, but I have a 5-year-old son. I'm gonna put my son on title because I want to give him all that so I don't have to worry about him. I said, and he said, why not? So you have to know.
I will really, why not?
Because he's underage. Escrow won't even sign, Escrow won't even do the escrow search for his son to sign.
I do see that happen. I do, yeah.
Which
Not a
Escrow
5
did it,
years-
I'm surprised.
Not a 5 years old, but 10 years old.
They can't sell it, they can refi, they have problems.
They
with it.
cannot sell, but they can take title.
They can't, title won't, Escrow won't even type up the escrow. So
18.
wait till they want to sell. Wait till they want to refi. I've seen it. This happened in 1988. I still remember. One of my friends called me. This woman has 3 kids. They lived up in Malibu Beach on beautiful house. And she said she needs to do a refi. And the lender and the title company at that time couldn't do it. Nancy could do help. So I told the woman, I said, uh-oh. She's got 3 kids on title plus her. And the reason she wants to do a refi, her husband is very wealthy in Taiwan. And they have to settle the estate tax before she can get the properties, all that stuff in Taiwan. But she doesn't have any money. She never worked. She's wealthy. Her husband's wealthy. He all of a sudden at 45 died of a heart attack. So she needs to take money out of this beautiful home At that time, she bought the house for 4 million already. It's like beautiful view. She wants to take only about 1.5 million now to pay for taxes in Taiwan. Can't do it. 7-year-old, 5-year-old, and a 2-year-old. She was crying and she was cussing at me. She said, you guys know, you know what, this is very, do you remember, what is Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis? You know who Onassis is, right? Greek tycoon that owns a shipping thing. He has 2 sons, Anthony and Christina. Their yacht was under Christina's name. Anthony died of a plane accident, so he only had 1 heir. When he died, Christina got everything. Christina married some Italian playboy, they have a daughter. When she passed away of overdose, she was the only heir. So her daughter is the only heir now. She was only 7 years old at that time or something. The father could not touch anything that Christina owns. That's the same thing with here when you're underage. That estate belongs to her. You know, it took him like 5 or 10 years to go to court. He is the father. He's the guardian. But on her money, he has no right.
What happened to the daughter now?
Oh, the daughter, Christina, died of
I understand, but what happened to Christina's daughter?
oh, I don't know, but that time was a big news all over the world.
Right.
Because he was fighting, well, he's got the custody, no problem, because he's the father, he remarried and all this stuff. But he couldn't touch her money. He has to take care of her, feed her and clothe her, but her money is her money. It took him a long time to get the court to let him manage some of the money.
Oh.
So you have to go to court, and the court has to appoint you. You can be in charge of the estate. Okay, so she yelled at me, when they go on field trip, I have to sign for all the school people, why can't I take the money? I said, you should have asked your attorney before. They bought the property all cash and they put the 3 kids on title. And this is what I told her. I said, do you have any friends that are wealthy? She said, we'll borrow money from them. Then you come back and go to court and file for
Do they have the grounds through escrow and title company at that time?
No, they did. The lender won't, the title escrow, they won't insure that. They won't let her take the money out. Because,
No,
Yes.
by the time they purchased them. By the
no,
time
when they purchase all cash, escrow didn't care.
it's no liability.
They, long time ago, well, they can sue, but then what is gonna happen? She was already crying and stuff. I'm not gonna ask her to sue.
No, it's just,
Of course, they have liability. She can sue them. Why did you let me take title? But then she said, you don't want it. So, you know, it's not a good thing. I get these calls every week.
how nice
These
people
all the
like.
Chinese people want to kiss out. And I don't.
It has the
No, I have one case, it's really true. The mother put the son on title. The son is 24 years old, very good kid, graduated, got a nice job. She said, I'm a single mom, this is my lifetime, I bought this nice house, I'm gonna put him on title. She did it, the son. This is like 8 years ago. I got a call from the agent, I don't know who they are, they bought it, they listed it, I got a call from the agent, said, can he do a quick, can he, the son do a quick one, give it back to her? I said, why? Well, he had a car accident and killed somebody.
Oh,
So she's afraid they're gonna sue, they are gonna sue, you're gonna lose that house.
You have own house.
He lives there, you live there, you have the same insurance company, and if you don't have umbrella insurance, you're losing that house. He's a good kid. Things happen. So don't put your children on title, you protect your own thing, you do a trust after you die, they get everything, it's fine. My son is very, he's
So every trust?
yeah, everybody has to do a trust.
Because of every trust.
do a living trust.
Do a living trust, don't give anything to your kids.
Yeah.
Don't put.
I have, no, hey, Peter, remember the Wang Zhongtan Wei in Chinatown, when I first got into business, I got a call from the Chinese service center. They say, Nancy, can you check all this title for me? So I did. This very wealthy couple, they even own garment, factory and stuff, they retired. They want to take Medicaid, everything.
Yeah.
So they gave all the property to the only son.
because of a Medicaid.
Yeah, and guess what? After the daughter-in-law had 2 kids, she kicked them out of the house.
I heard
Yes, that's right.
And then they have nowhere to go, so the Zhongcanwei took care of them. I rented an apartment for them. So I checked everything. My advice is, your money is yours until you die. My son bought a house and he said, Mom, can I put you on title? I said, why? I don't want your property. I said, no, Mom, I'm not married. And, if I get married and I get divorced, you protect half of it.
Yeah, that's right.
And then I don't have a will, I don't have any kids, I don't want to put it in a trust. If I die, you're joint tenant. I'm like, oh, you're smarter than me.
Yeah,
So he's not on my house, but I'm on his house.
yeah.
Well, does the joint tenant also need the
Joint tenant.
trust?
No, well, he doesn't want to do a trust, he's still young.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't have any
Doesn't
kids or
need a
nothing.
trust.
No,
They
you don't,
cost
because
like
after the one
everything.
joint
Yeah.
tenant died, the other one get 100%.
No, but
But
some
some
attorney
like
want,
5,000.
want,
to
you
do
know,
the
a joint
trust.
tenant to, have a trust.
No, under
No.
both of them.
No,
If they're husband and wife, under both
How
names.
about sisters?
no. No, I have a case.
Unless they're married,
Sister.
unless they're not married. They're married?
No.
Yeah, they're not married, they can do a joint trust. I see siblings
You
do a
cannot
trust.
put a joint tenancy into the trust, living trust, until
Until both of them.
sever,
Yeah.
sever the joint
Yeah,
tenancy,
two
become
different.
tenants in common.
Oh, tenant in common.
Yeah, tenants in common, you can,
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can do that. Yeah,
A
a
joint tenant, no.
no, because you don't know who owns the property.
Right.
No, so because they have
Until
common
somebody
rights, so they can
Yeah.
just grant it to themselves as tenants in common, then put it in their trust.
Yes, yes.
You know, but anything with the sisters. But
No, they can do a
No,
trust.
I have case that, the sister, but what is it, her family has children, right? So she have the living trust by his 50%.
Yeah, that can, you can do that.
You can do
And
that.
the other one doesn't have it. The problem is
That's-
when the other one, they don't have. So she thought can sell the house, right?
No,
Because
You're-
The other
the other one
check.
doesn't have a trust.
Once you put the property into the living trust, it's sever. The
Becomes
Sever.
tenants in common.
becomes
Automatic.
common. So the one that is
Oh.
still living, the other one it has.
Go to probate, go to probate.
No.
They're
Yeah.
total coping.
Okay,
I
right.
see.
So-
But when you say two of them single, joint tenant, no trust, no living trust, so one of them died, the other one
Gets it.
automatically gets.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how you put joint tenant. But you know what? Not just husband and wife can be joint tenant, everybody can be joint. Peter and I can have joint
How
tenant,
come-
but he doesn't
How
want
come
it.
today, husband and wife, they don't prefer husband and wife with joint tenant?
No, they can do community property with
Yeah.
the right of survivalship.
Yeah.
That's the same as joint tenant.
Oh, that's never different, huh?
Not that much. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
You have to
I thought
put
it-
survive with
Oh.
survivorship.
I don't know the difference.
My relative just bought a house, couples,
So community
they
property.
put joint
yeah,
tenant
yeah.
instead of community
You
property.
cannot do the community
I know,
property.
but it's
Okay,
very
something
different.
else.
But it's
Community
everybody.
property is better, you can work on how you can give it to
When
someone.
you went to-
Joint tenant, they don't have to have a trust.
Okay.
But it's good to have a trust. What if both pass away? That's the case I talk about. Both husband and wife pass away, they're joint tenants, they go to probate.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's the one the third brother came out.
So better not to find the same thing.
I went to. No,
Situation.
unless
Oh,
you have a trust.
Okay, let me repeat that.
No.
I have a case, it's gonna go to escrow. My agent already kind of got the listing prepared. The parents passed away, they were joint tenants,
Okay.
but they both died. They didn't put it in trust.
Okay.
So now they have to go to probate, so the two sons gets it. So the two sons can tell the agent to sell it.
Right.
Very simple. Almost done with the probate. They got a attorney letter. A brother came out and said, I'm your father's son.
Oh,
They've never met him. They don't know that. Everybody's upset. They don't want to give him the money. I said, too bad. You don't have a trust. If the trust, you have a trust, he has no right. But if there's no trust, it's probate.
Yeah.
Anybody related, even an uncle
right.
can come and claim, okay?
Yeah.
So I told them this, the court will want them to provide with birth certificate and all that stuff, but they're gonna lose 1/3.
Yeah.
And he can ask for more if he wants to, then he'll delay the probate, he can say, your dad and my dad never gave me anything, so I want more.
Yeah.
He didn't support me, he can claim more.
Mm.
Right, so I told my agent, tell them, hurry up, don't cause any problem, get it done, because they might, what if another sister come out?
Yeah.
Anything
So
can
it's one
change.
third, one third, one third now, it could be 1/4, 1/5 later. Okay, so trust is really important. Definitely.
It costs maybe 5,000,
Yeah,
10,000
For what?
for living trust.
no, sometimes too, it depends how much. It
No,
depends on how complicated it is.
Yeah.
a simple one
How many
costs you about
copies?
2,500
Yeah.
to 3,000.
1,000.
Yeah, I have an attorney that does simple trust for 1,500.
Yeah, that's it.
He doesn't do it,
Keep the record.
his other attorney does it, junior attorney does it.
So it's better keep your.
Which one is the good
It's not.
attorney that keep the record, Nancy?
Well, my son knows what my trust is.
No.
The one
So we can
already-
refer the attorney that if in case somebody
But the
lost.
attorney, you know what, right
Like that
now,
on the
the attorney,
YouTube,
most attorneys don't do that. Most attorneys don't do that.
No
You
more
know,
quick-
I have somebody else's trust that I just returned 2 years ago. I don't want the liability. The kids are grown. I said, I don't know, one of my clients gave me the trust.
But the copy that your kid has to be certified or not.
No, it has to be signed. We want to see signature and date.
What signature?
Yeah,
What
the
signature?
signature.
What
Okay,
kind of-
and Peter, in the old days, this happened about 10 years ago. In the old days, Christine, you grant your property into, Christine grants to Christine's living trust dated that. County don't take it anymore. County wants to see the trustees name on it.
Yeah.
Christine grants to Christine, trustee of the Christine's living trust dated, so you know why? Because they can't determine if they owe property tax, or they don't know who's supposed to pay the house. So before you could just grant it to your trust without the trustee's name, now you have to specify the trustee's name. So husband, wife, grants to husband, wife's trust, they have to say grant to husband, wife trustee of the trustee. Okay, the county changed it. One of my friends got mad at me. I did this deed and you said, I said, not me. They want to know who's responsible for property taxes. If they die, who's the trustee? Who's the successor, right? So they want to know who's responsible. I can grant it to a trust and I'm not the trustee. Who's going to pay for the back taxes? They want a name. Yes, sir.
Before the trust, if they're joint tenant, they cannot have a trust.
They can, but when you do the trust, the attorney wants you to put it into tenants in common and do the trust.
They have to change it.
The attorney will
So how
will
about
tell you
the
how
other
to
thing,
do it.
like community survivor thing?
Same
They
thing.
need to change to
The
tenant.
community property right of survivorship is better because community property, you can will it, but the attorney will take care of it. They know what to do. They will order a deed from me. Usually my attorney will order a deed from me and then look for all the documents before they do the trust.
Oh.
Okay? Anything else? Okay, so let me go to another thing. Before you go into escrow, if it's around end of November and about March, if you have a listing, another thing you better ask, because I don't want your sellers to be mad at you. And they always point the fingers at you first, then you come crying to me, then you probably cry to escrow, and I don't want that to happen. If you have a listing, let's say you sign a listing in March, it will close escrow probably sometimes in April or May. Number one thing, ask your seller, did you pay the April 10th taxes yet? And if they haven't, tell them not to pay it.
Yeah.
It's not because I want them to get fined, it's give me a cashier's check. We'll pay it, so we know it's paid. So in doing escrow, you know, the county has, I went to Jeff Frank's his function yesterday, his fundraiser yesterday, and he said it really clearly. They have so many millions of parcels, they can't update their file even now. And title company do not take your electronic payment as proof. We take what the county's website say it's paid. Okay, so in order for us not to double pay it
Right.
or to hold your money, tell your seller, if you're gonna sign a listing, give me a cashier's check, I will pay the taxes. So when I know it's paid. So even if the database is not paid, I'm gonna let you go, because I know I did. But don't give it to me, April 10th, okay? I can't run to the county. give it to me a few days before.
April 1st.
And when,
So
when
you do that as a service to your client?
As the service to my client, because I don't want you to get yelled at. So, or if they paid it, this is what the title company does, right? If you don't tell me they paid it, you have to ask your seller, because they don't tell you everything. So you ask them, have you paid it? How did you pay it? If they say I paid with check, and you get a copy of the return check from your bank, then you can give it to me. I won't hold money, I won't pay again. The worst thing is that you don't tell me, we don't know, the computer says not paid, we double pay it.
Oh,
How are they gonna do the refund? When they're going to do the refund, I don't know. I have no control over that. They're gonna be upset at you for months.
yeah.
I don't want your sellers to be upset at you.
Mhm.
That's the whole thing, right? So these are the two times to watch out for. If you're not sure, call me anytime. I answer my phone calls on weekends and whatever, I don't care. I have no life, okay? And so also another thing is a lot of buyer's agents, they don't know how escrow prorate the taxes. One of my agents from Cotai Realty, she's brand new. She closed the transaction and it closed in March. Then she got a tax, somebody sent her a tax bill. The listing agent was very good, listen to me. Send it to her. It's still under the seller's name. How he doesn't know what the process will, they don't update it real fast. So he said, well, why should I pay for it? It's still under the seller's name. My buyer shouldn't pay for it. I'm like, okay, get the closing statement. They prorated you. The seller gave the buyer money, the buyer should pay. So you have to look at your closing statement. If the seller credited you, then it's you pay. But the tax bill is not under your name, doesn't matter. The tax bill goes to what? The property, they don't care who owns it. The reference is the parcel number and the property, so it doesn't matter. So I said, if you don't want them to get worried, cross out the name and put their name on it, make them feel more comfortable. It is what it is. So those are the times you need to be careful. So if you're taking a listing, going to escrow during that time, call me. I'll go through this again with you. Okay? And I've sat down with my Chinese speaking buyers and sellers because they don't trust anything. So I have to like, I've been doing this for 41 years. Listen to me, you're not gonna go wrong. I'm not gonna lie to you. And they have to kind of play tough with them. So these are some of the things that could delay the close of your escrow or cost you to lose money. And I've had situations that buyers aren't negotiating price because you can't perform. They want you to pay for the interest. They were supposed to fund on a certain day and you couldn't close because they already funded. And last minute, you still don't give us the trust. They're making the seller pay for it every day, how much. But seller, vice versa, ask the buyer to pay for them. Change of name is very important. If you get in a loan, do not change vesting on the lender. You know, some of the lenders now, this is what I heard. I'm not gonna back off any lender. I'm very careful who the lenders are right now. I do refer, I have people friends that buys their own property. I have one in Las Vegas, I refer out. I only refer to people I know that can perform. A lot of the underwriting for the bank now are out of state. That's what I'm afraid of. They don't understand how to do.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so be careful because why do you want to deal with somebody underwriters in Arizona or somewhere else or in New Jersey? I have a commercial lender in New York. I hate them. I absolutely hate them. They don't know what's going on in California. They give us all this crap that is not necessary. So you have to be very careful. Make sure your buyer is going to the lender that you recommend, a couple of them, because you let them go everywhere. I got somebody, my agent called me. Do you know anybody from Los Angeles? It has to be good. I said, how come? But your buyer usually listens to you, whatever. Oh, they got an email from Wells Fargo. They said they can give you this way. I said, in actuality, it not be the same until they submit it. So don't tell them not to trust that email. The email doesn't count until they have all your package they submitted. They can't guarantee you interest rate. Okay, so be careful with buyers because I know new agent work with buyers a lot. So always go through it with Peter, with people that hear the company and follow every time. So Herman, any questions?
No.
Okay, some of these agents, they do a lot of commercial. Kathy does, Hugo does. So if you do have buyers that wants to do investment, you better team up with one of them. Because believe me, I'm not saying to make you feel bad. I'm saying because it's true. You can't handle the commercial deals, okay? So you better go to one of them. Because I don't want you to lose a customer, because that customer, if you make it right, you're right, you're gonna get more people, right? So trust the experts in this line. Okay, so any more questions?
Do we get any questions from the Zoom participants?
Yes, questions, anybody?
Yes, I think some chat, some people put.
Oh,
Some chat.
Hold on, I need my glasses, I can't see it.
I saw.
Where is the chat?
On the right hand, more? All the way to the right hand corner.
Bottom right, where it says two or more.
Oh, more, oh, your screen, okay.
Okay, that's your chat.
There's two chats. Hello, Diana, Irma. Oh, Irma says she works with part-time with attorneys who have done living trust for about 30 years. He only charges $1,100. It's very good. That is very good. Good thing to know, Diane. Very good thing to know. And that's it. I don't think we have any more questions. No, 'cause- Yeah, and that's very good. 1,100 is really good, because my low is like 15. Okay, so, one-on-one, you need one-on-one, you need to talk to somebody because you're frustrated, I'm very.
And Nancy, say something about one-on-one or the
Yeah.
farming,
Okay,
and you
Um,
help
you-
our agents too.
when I do one-on-one, I don't do it in a big class because I don't know your schedule, I don't know your schedule, I don't know how much time or energy or effort you can put into your, or sometimes money. So we need to sit down, because everybody's different. I'm really good at one-on-one. If I were the agent now here, and nobody will believe me, but I will be doing nothing. That's me. I'm very good in person. My client says, can you talk to my seller? They're really being upset and they're this. Can you talk to them? I say, no, I want to see them. I have that presence. They will listen to me when I go face to face. They go, oh, she knows what she's talking about. On the phone, they don't. Okay, so you have to know your strength and your weaknesses. And weaknesses doesn't mean it's weaknesses. If you know your weaknesses, you can always improve on. So I welcome your challenges. I might not be 100% on point, but I want to know what you do, what you're good at, what you want to improve on. And I'll give you all the different ways of how people farm and how you start a conversation. I tutor somebody that used to go door knock, and poor guy, he's 6'3", he's really big, and he's very intimidating. He doesn't smile. I'm like, when I see you, I'll be afraid. I'll close the door on you. So you better go with your, he works for Remax, get a Remax t-shirt, and you smile, please. And you wave. You don't be like so tense.
There's a question. You have another question?
Oh, thanks for,
Because there are 275.
Oh, yeah, very good question. Brian, do you recommend them to buy investment property under LLC or entity? Number one, talk to their CPA. Number two, talk to the lender. If they're getting a loan, they might not loan money under LLC or anything. If they're getting a loan, you need to talk to the lender first, and also they need to talk to the CPA. Which one is the best? But if I'm qualified, my lender will not loan me as a person to buy a property. I will buy it under my name and then transfer to LLC for liability purpose. Because the limited liability, if something happens, they can only sue you, that one property, not everything else you own. Okay, Brian? Okay, good.
Thank you.
Thank you. So one-on-one is very difficult. Maybe Herman says, I get up at 5 o'clock, right? But maybe Nancy says, I don't get up until 7. Nobody knows your time. So in the morning, what can you do? Middle and the afternoon, some people have kids and your time is different. I'm happy to brainstorm with you. Okay?
All right, thank
And
you.
I need your business. My boss didn't pay me for this. Peter paid me with pizza, which is a very good one. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. Yeah, believe me, Nancy is very amicable and very knowledgeable. And she said she has no life. You can call her anytime.
Somebody texted me at 11 o'clock.
Wanna get
Are
to the
you
light.
there?
Thank you.
Yeah, if you have nothing to do, call me, okay?
You say, no, I'm
Okay,
not.
I'm going to stop the recording right now, okay?
No, it was so funny. She texted me, she said, 11 o'clock, are you there? I'm like, I'm here.